Inside of the Call of Duty community and their creators, there needs to be some deep conversations to figure out what happened going into Season 3. So, for some context, about a week before Season 3 started, the devs, Activision, Infinity Ward, Raven, I'm not 100% sure who was all there, but some significant people from all of the studios met with some of the prominent creators for Call of Duty to talk about what was coming up, presumably inside of Season 3. After this call happened, the creators got off. Many of them got on social media, some saying that it was a great step in the right direction. Others go as far as saying it can save Warzone 2. But if you've been on social media at all since Season 3 came out, it has been the exact opposite cry from the community and even many of these creators. Now, before we go any deeper into this, I need everyone to understand. A lot of these creators who are talking, I have deep respect for, and they have inspired me to do what I'm doing now. And I love their content. I still watch their content, and I'm still very involved in many of their communities. But we need to talk about what happened on that call. And I've basically come down to two different options that could have happened. The first option is Infinity Ward of Activision brought these creators in and spread them a bunch of BS, hoping that they would go out, spread all of this fantastic news of everything that was coming in Season 3 and that Warzone was going to be absolutely amazing now, only for when the Season 3 actually released, it just is not good, and then it absolutely ruined the credibility of all these creators, because I have a very strong feeling that Activision themselves do not like how much power a lot of these larger creators actually have over the community as a whole. The second option of what actually happened inside of this meeting is that the creators were shown a roadmap of everything that is coming, but it's stuff that's going to be coming over the next 2 to 4 months, not stuff that was actually going to be coming out inside of Season 3. And then they were led to believe that all of this stuff is coming at Season 3, and we were all just left disappointed. Now, I personally believe that it was the second option, that they were shown a lot of things that are coming. It's just they're not ready yet, but then they were deceived into believing that a lot of, if not all of these things were coming this week with Season 3. Now, if all these changes are actually going to happen, it's a good thing, but it might be too late at this point. We are 6 months into the lifespan of this game, and we're not even at the quality of life level that Warzone 1 was at the end of its life. There are still so many bugs inside of the engine and the UI of this game to even come close to what Warzone 1 was. And speaking of the engine, we have to talk about the root problem of the entire issue with this game. The engine and the movement inside of the engine is awful. It does not matter at this point what other changes that they give us. If they do not change how movement functions inside of this game as a whole, nothing can change. It will always feel like a horrible game. Playing the game, it feels like you're moving through quicksand. The ADS is slow. The sprint to fire is even slower than that. Whenever you jump and try an ADS, it basically doubles your ADS time, making it impossible to even be somewhat aggressive. Some of the things that they talked about in this patch: mantling, sliding, diving. Mantling, I barely can tell a difference playing the game. Like, yes, there are some times when I'm mantling over certain height objects. Okay, that was a little bit smoother. But mantling as a whole is horrible. And then they said they sped up diving and sliding. I'm sure that if you run the numbers to an exact, yes, they probably sped it up slightly, but it doesn't feel like it at all. The fact that if you slide, you're basically just giving away your life at this point, because the slide takes longer than the entire time to kill of this game, multiplayer or Warzone. Other things that have been in Call of Duty for years, some of them even the beginning of the game: reload canceling. Why did we remove reload canceling? It was a fundamental part of this game. I don't care if it's supposed to be quote unquote realistic. This is an arcade shooter. It's supposed to be fun. I don't want it to be realism. I want to have fun playing a video game. Another thing, bunny hopping. Why did we remove bunny hopping? It was in the beta. And yes, a lot of people were making fun of it during the beta because, I mean, that was, again, the only kind of movement thing that you could do. But the reason why we were making fun of it is because it was the only thing you could do, not because we wanted it removed. I personally, at this point, don't know what all they can do to fix the movement in this issue. At this point, they need to add some sort of actual movement tech for it to actually feel like there's some sort of skill gap. And at the beginning of this game, I was completely against adding slide canceling, because at this point I'd gone through so many controllers. A lot of people had gone through so many controllers. People's hands were tired. We dealt with it for 3 years. It was time to try something new. But they didn't try anything new. They just removed everything. So if you're not going to try and add anything to actually add some sort of movement skill gap, just give us slide canceling back at this point for all I care. There are so many things that just do not make sense about this game that Activision and Infinity Ward is putting into it. And a lot of it comes back to they are playing towards and pandering towards the people who play Call of Duty maybe 30 minutes on a Friday. And they are completely disregarding the die-hard community who play this game 5, 10, 15 hours a week, and all they want to do is play this game and enjoy it, and they can't because Activision is just spitting in their face. If there is some data to actually back up what they are doing, they need to communicate it and make it public. If that many people who only play the game 30 minutes to an hour a week are spending that much money on the game while the diehard community is not spending anything, they need to make this data public so that we can actually understand some of the decisions that are being made. Otherwise, you're going to start losing the diehard community, and once that happens, there's no telling how far this game will fall.